If you guys are on the fence with buying the Riding Times GT73 Pro, let me show you why it's been a really good fit for our family. We just bought it and we put just under 100 miles on the bike. And I gotta say, it's been amazing. I kept it in its dirty form because I want to show you what it actually will look like. And it cleans up really, really well. But a couple of things about this that just put us over the top. Number one, it comes almost pre-assembled. The assembly was very simple. All we had to do was put the front tires on, the front assembly up top, and then we had to tighten a bunch of the bolts. But there's a bunch of things that are awesome about this bike. Number one, big knobby tires. I can't tell you on the other e-bikes, I ended up having to buy the tennis tubes because we were always popping a tire. With these big knobby tires, we haven't really had to worry about that. Number two, they came with hydraulic brakes, which for us was a really big deal. And as a parent, stability is a really big deal for me. And it's got full suspension in the front that you can adjust. And in the rear, you've got this nice cushy shock on it. So it's going to take the bumps, the sidewalks, everything in the hills much better than your standard e-bike. And we actually started out with the standard e-bike, and I think that this is actually a safer option. The other thing I really like about this, especially on the parent side, you've got three modes on this. You've got Turbo, STD, which I'm assuming stands for Standard, and Eco. So in Turbo mode, it's kind of wide open. This will go up to about 50 miles an hour. And as a parent, it just kind of makes your gut wrench. But this is what I'm going to tell you about the bike. Is it says it's got all this torque and everything, but when you pull on that throttle, you're not going to accidentally do a wheelie. It just doesn't work that way. Can you wheelie this bike? Yes, you can, but it takes a little bit of know-how. So if you are a parent, you're concerned about it, you really have to learn how to ride the bike, but I feel like overall it's very safe. The fact that you can adjust the front suspension to make it hard or soft has been really nice. The rear motor on this is massive. On other e-bikes, we've had problems with the rear motor burning out because of it. Now, this bike on paper supports up to 330 pounds. I can tell you, I weigh 215 pounds, and the bike has been very comfortable for myself. Now, height-wise, if you are 5'8" or above, fantastic option. I would say the cutoff line on height, probably 6'5". But anybody 5'8" and below, you're going to be a little bit tippy-toed at the bottom end. But here's how I feel as well. If you are going to be growing up to that 5'8" in the next year, I would buy this over any other bike. The seat height on this sits right around 36 inches. And I found that most people are buying bikes that are way too small. We were on the fence with buying one of the other competitors' bikes, and it was going to be 30 inches. And again, that means your knees are going to be right up here on the knobs, which I personally just don't think that's safe. But in the end, it's been a fantastic bike. But let's talk about the most important thing for us about this bike. And believe it or not, it's the pedals. And for a lot of you guys out there, you're thinking, I don't want the pedals. Well, not only are these removable, but this is what keeps the bike legal in my state. And without these pedals, kids' bikes are getting confiscated. So for me as a parent, this is a big deal because I don't want to pay dollars to get the bike out. Now let's talk about some of the safety issues on this bike. You've got these reflectors on the sides of the bike. Not only can you put this in an eco mode, so it only goes, I believe, 17 miles an hour. The hydraulic brakes are a really big deal for me. We had the non-hydraulic brakes. We were constantly having problems because you constantly have to adjust them. So the most that we're going to have to do with these is either leave the liquid out or add more liquid into it, readjust them. But that is a much less of a headache than it is dealing with standard brakes. Now, as far as range goes, this bike had almost twice the range as the more expensive bikes. It's got these two massive 60-volt batteries in it. Our range has been 85 miles just on electric. That doesn't include the pedal assist, which I believe with pedal assist, it was something crazy, like 115. But we ride these bikes to ride these bikes, so I couldn't give you full numbers on that. But so far, we haven't exhausted the battery in one day, and it's a lot of riding. And I will tell you, all the other people that have e-bikes have been fairly jealous about this bike once they start riding it. Now, if we do compare it to some of the bikes that are twice as expensive, the power output is very similar. This on paper had 3,000 watts. The other bikes, and that's 3,000 watt peak. So I believe we were at 2,500 watts and then 3,000 peak. The other bikes, I believe, were peak 6,000, and they start at 5,000 to 6,000. The difference that makes is going up hills in the mountains. Riding around on flat land, we've still just been very, very happy with this bike. One of the other things I didn't touch on is the lighting system on this bike. It does have full brakes on the back that light up. Let me see here. You can see that. And we also have turn signals. So we've got left turn signal, right turn signal. We've also got a horn. One nice touch is the LEDs on this bike work very well at night. So one click on, one click off. But as I was saying before, it fits the bill legally. It's got all the safety features on this. As a parent, I was very concerned about safety on this bike, but I feel like this bike is safer than a lot of the e-bikes that are out there. Not to mention, it was a great buy. So if you're on the fence, I personally feel like this is the best buy on the market right now that hits on power, safety, and keeps it legal.